Back after finally uploading that 1 hour special. It's taking so long to save it. I'm not really edit it because I don't edit. But jeez, did that take forever? I don't think I'm definitely gonna be like, those are more like specials. That one was celebrating me being able to upload longer videos. Anyways, yeah, I just wish I could help Hanako more with hers. With that, conversation turns off on a depressing note. Eventually, Misha manages to pick the mood back up to her usual bright and bubbly antics, but my mind remains focused on Hanako. I'll go check on her later. I make sure my door's locked after dropping off my school bag. The dorms are quiet. Mutao kept me occupied longer than I expected, discussing my studies after classes ended and pressing on me some worksheets to give to Hanako almost as an afterthought. Absorbed in thoughts, I'm late in registering the shadow that appears in front of me. Looking up reveals the owner of said shadows. Hey man, haven't seen you in a while. Oh hi. What's that response? Boy, I kinda need to. My absent-minded greeting visible or noising. I'd probably have the same reaction. Sorry, just thinking about a lot of stuff. Thinking is a pretty poor excuse to me not aiding the war effort. And how goes the war? I'm preparing right now. I need money to help with those preparations. If you want me to loan you money, just say it. No man, I'm good. You're good? You don't want any my money? Hey man, don't look so surprised, it's insulting. I'm pretty big in the competitive bowling scene, but yesterday I found some guys who didn't know that. I'm pretty sure that betting would be against the school rules. School rules don't matter, this is a war situation. People these days, they have no anticipation for what war remains. So what do you need this money for, dare I ask? Non-perishable canned foods, building materials, mostly corrugated wood, iron, wood, and panels, first aid kit, camping heater, portable radio, sleeping bag, flashlight, mechanical clock. First struck me as a random assortment of objects and materials, but after a few seconds it clicks. Is that a list of materials for a fallout shelter? As I even read a Protect and Survive booklet, it's good to see someone is knowledgeable about how to protect yourselves. You don't seriously think. There's not a zero possibility. Now I'm pretty sure there's zero possibility of that ever happening. He slowly and dramatically raised an eyebrow, as dramatically as one can raise an eyebrow. The chances, I don't know 0.1 to a trillionth place. It's infinitesimal. Besides, what can you build a fallout shelter anyway? Certainly not on campus. My Solomon holiday project I'm at home. My dad said I can do it. Really? Yeah, he thought it would improve my crafting skills and manual dexterity or something. No, and Kenji, his dad, probably just thought I might keep him out of his hair for a while. So it does make me wonder what his parents are like. Maybe they're totally normal, and Kenji is just an aberration. On the other hand, maybe this kind of paranoia and feel for survivalism runs in the family. Hey, want to help me build it? You look like the type to be handy with tools. If I had your help, we could make a really... I doubt that playing soccer before my accident gave me good footwork, but I've never really tried anything approaching real handiwork. I'm really busy with our holidays anyways, I'm afraid. A shame. If the feminists ever get a hold of the launch codes, I feel that so few will be prepared. In your fault, shelter will protect you from a nuclear bomb explosion in the case that this does happen. Fallout shelter isn't meant to protect against a blast. That's what a blast shelter is for. Thought you knew better. My mistake. My home's pretty far away from any major military sites, so fallout following a nuclear exchange is a bigger concern than the blast itself. What this will do is keep the dust and other particles away from me, my food supply, and my sleeping area. It's gonna last me at least 14 days though. 14 days is a pretty long time. It is. I need 1 liter of water for drinking, 2 optimally so I can wash as well. Toiletry is enough. It's easy enough. Just garbage bags in a bin placed outside the shelter area. Food means canned supplies, of course. And of course, the radio is for outside communication. Right, so I can pick up government alerts on what's going outside. I need a mechanical clock rather than an electric one in case the electromagnetic pulse from a nuclear airburst fires it too. Electromagnetic pulse is an EMP. There's all the other stuff I need as well, like extra clothing, matches, and candles. I think I still have time to get it all, though, maybe. Much as I hate to say it, I'm a little impressed. He really researches do it when thought it through. Then again, I don't know if I want to live in a post-apocalyptic world with only few people like Kenji having survived. Sounds like you really know what you're doing. Darn right I do. Must be hard living in constant fear like this. He hardly ever socializes either, so the fact he went bowling with others in itself is something of a surprise. This mentality reminds me of a little of a certain someone. Thankfully, her fear of others doesn't manifest in such a distinctly eccentric way. One thing I know for sure is that I certainly can't tell him exactly why I haven't been hanging around with him much recently. It's late, I have stuff to do. I would think about making a fallout shelter or something though. Yeah, alright, it's cool. A man has to do what he's gotta do after all. You should hang out with me sometimes, by the way. You're a cool dude. Cool dudes should hang out together, right? For some reason, that compliment actually kind of feels nice. The situation with Hanako being what it is, though, means that I probably won't be able to fulfill his request, for now at least. That'd be good. I'll talk to you later about it when I can. Cool, later, dude. He retreats to his dormitory room. I had better go see Hanako. I stand outside of the door to Hanako's room, hoping that she isn't too much of a state as I nervously touch the worksheets Mutao asked me to pass on to her. It's one more reason to visit her, and it gives me something to talk about, so I should at least be thankful for him giving me the task. With a long breath to steady myself, I wrap my knuckles on the door in front of me. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting her to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Mutao said to give you some stuff. For a while, the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under her door, though, I hear the handle rattling. As the door opens halfway, I quickly try to see how Hanako's faring. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I'd have preferred that to her expression right now. She looks terribly tired and appears to be barely acknowledging my presence. Hi, Hanako. Mutao wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheet which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is devoid of thought. Her posture is slumped in an unusual manner for someone that's so often tense and wound up. Even her eyes keep looking away from mine, doing their best to avoid eye contact. I move my head a little to try and get a better look, but she just ends up turning away. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could go get a nurse. Feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine. Get well soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. Her head remains turned away, but her eyes move towards me. I'm fine. An awkward silence follows as it lingers. I notice that the sleeves and the cuffs of her gown bear slightly damp stains. Her cheeks are a bit red too. Has she been crying? I see. I hesitate a little before coming out with the words. I really came here to say, would you like me to stay? I don't have anything urgent to do at the moment, so it wouldn't be any trouble. Her eyes light away from me, and I lose any hope for an improvement of her mood. I wait for a response, but she doesn't say anything, nor give any kind of gesture. She just stands there looking away from me. Hanako? She slowly shakes her head. Okay, good night then. With that, Hanako steps back and closes the door without a second word. More than a little worried, I retreat back to my room. Wandering up the hall, I keep mulling over what happened. It felt like Hanako was only halfway there, as if I was interacting with a robot that was just doing what it was programmed to without any real thought. Oh, excuse me. She was a husk of a person. This is frustrating. I had hoped that meeting Hanako would help the situation, but I feel like it's only made it harder to understand her. How am I supposed to try and... I'm back. Sorry for that pause. I don't even bother to turn on the light, opting instead to simply change into my pajamas, quickly choke my even pillows and collapse onto my bed. Once again, Hanako doesn't turn up for class. Tries I might concentrate on other matters, this fact continues to distract me throughout the entire school day. And even as I walk through the school gardens to the dormitories. I don't think today being her birthday is a coincidence. I don't know the link between the two events though, nor do I have any idea on what she's feeling. With physical pain, I could at least provide some limited comfort. With something like this though, I have no idea where to start. I run the people I know through my head, thinking about ways that they could help. Suzune and Misha don't know that much about Hanako, and what little they do know, they can't tell me, same for the nurse. In the end, there's only one person that knows Hanako well and would be willing to help me with anything. I'm sorry, but just read that yourself. I'm trying to fix my headphones. Aw, come on! Whatever. Focusing back on the task at hand, I throw my bag onto the bed as I open the top drawer of my desk. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call her on while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. In hindsight, I wonder if she knew something like this could happen. Now that she's out of reach, I realize just how much both Hanako and I have relied on her for guidance. I did go on drawer after drawer looking for that darned piece of paper. Eventually, thankfully, I find it nestled under a borrowed library book. I probably should have just entered it directly into my cell phone. Come to think of it, without further ado, I entered the number and anxiously pressed the call button. Why do they have such old phones? Eventually, the phone picks up a feminine voice I don't recognize on the other hand. It's probably Lily's mother. Sato. English. Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says. As due to my limited vocabulary or her every accent, should have anticipated this since according to Lily, her mother is a native Scot. I soldier on in the hopes that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It is how Nakai speaking. Enthusiastic resound to realize she can be heard as she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense. Ah, you must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct? Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak to you, Mrs. Satao. It's so nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily, dear, it's for you. Her mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic, given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Hello, Lily speaking. You sound awful. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. The one thing I did remember to check before calling was the time zone. It'd be pretty late in the morning over there, so she really has no excuse. Not feeling well? Just tired. What time is it there? Late afternoon. School finished for the day not long ago. Hanako's not well, is she? Why the music? That was quick. My assumption that she must have known something like this could happen seems to have been quick on the mark. How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I hope she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but... How is she right now? She missed school today and yesterday. I still have to check up on her today. To be honest, after seeing how she was when I talked to her yesterday, I'm pretty anxious. I really have no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly the same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in this accident that caused the scarring, and Hanako blames herself for their deaths. What she does say seems to make sense. She's blaming herself on her birthday. She may be worrying that she was never born. Hanako had mentioned her stay in the orphanage to me. Maybe I should take some heart that she trusts me enough to tell me such a thing. Lily seems so in the dark about it though, almost to the extent that I is surprised. So that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well. She told you any more about the accident? As long as we've come, she's very barely told me anything about what happened. What I know about it is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Concerning the trauma Hanako must have gone through, I can't really fault Lily for not knowing. Nevertheless, she still seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily. With everything she's gone through, there's a long silence from the other end of the line. I begin to wonder if the call cut out before the voice at the other end speaks once again. There is another person, though, that has been a subject of worry for me as of late. Oh? I went through the people she could be talking about in my head. The only friend she seems to be keep very close to Hanako and me, though there is a Kira as well. That person is you, Hisao. There's another silence on the line, but this time it's caused by me. Making others worry about me is something I very actively avoid, though. I've very actively tried to avoid since coming to Yamako. Indeed, even my interaction with Hanako has helped stave off any major health problems, thanks to our relaxed and slow-paced lives. What is there to worry about? I apologize, I didn't mean any offense. Sorry, I was just taken a bit off guard. Still, isn't Hanako a bigger problem at the moment? For some time now, I've thought that the both of you may be feeding into each other's more worrying habits. I tried to amend this before leaving. Worrying habits? When I asked you about what you had in mind for the future, your answer was very similar to what Hanako had said in the past, when that question was posed to her. It is well and good to want to protect her, but I fear that treating Hanako like this as if she were a daughter or someone in need of special care is only going to achieve the opposite. The situation got effectively turned on its head. After everything that's happened, this is the first time I find myself doubting Lily's judgment. Now, spoiler, I know what happens on Hanako's route ever since the beginning of I started this. The only other routes I don't know is every other route but Hanako's I don't know. So I know this, I don't remember this. I know if I did call off call it a day and I do this, it would overwrite both the neutral and good ending, giving me the bad ending. I don't know if I just choose this, will it give me the neutral ending? But I ain't gonna choose it, I want the good ending. But what is that? I agree with Lily. I don't want to admit it, but she may have a point. Something else bugs me though. And you tried to amend this? Wait, our outing into the city. Quite astute. I thought if it might help if I dragged both of you out of Yamako and into the wider world. I am thankful you became closer for it though. So if she noticed that, I suppose she may well have been paying attention to us, and her hearings could be good. Quite likely good enough to have picked up what we were talking about if she tried. It sounds more and more like you were manipulating us. Silent is a harsh way of putting it, but I have no intention of stepping back from those words. I'm sorry, I was just worried about you. It's fine, I guess there are more important things anyways. It's not a total surprise that she'd do such a thing. Her motherly nature can be slightly overbearing at times, but she does have the best of intentions. So you think I should know... So I think about myself. Ah, what did I just do right there? Do you really? She isn't as fragile as you think. I don't know exactly what experience she lived through or what feelings she has in her mind, but she has managed to work her way through them until now. Also, my hope that giving her a little space will allow her to decide what she truly wants for herself, and give her the initiative for reach out. Please have faith in Hanako, that's all I ask. I guess I'll think about it for a while. That's good, being rash won't get you anywhere. I know at times you may doubt your relationship to Hanako, but she does. Lily cuts herself off and takes a moment to reconsider her words. Please keep in mind that I wouldn't have befriended you if I hadn't thought you were a fundamentally good person. You're a good friend, both to myself and to Hanako. Thank you, that helps. What did I just do? I'm sorry if I just blew out your eardrums. So I can't feel my pinky still. It's too numb. But then again, isn't this just an attempt to justify the way I've been acting towards her? That may be what that may well be what our past were like. When it comes to the future, I still have no idea what I want to do. School, I've just concentrated on each day's work, and I've cut off more and more things to cater to Hanako. I recall the words Mutao told me after Hanako's breakdown about the purpose of Yamako and my education. In hindsight, he was probably trying to push exactly the same thing. Just what I have been doing in the time since my heart attack. If I ever did manage to get Hanako out of her room and open up, what then? Look out my dormitory window as the sun slowly sets. It's a nice sight, but I really savor the quiet as the students return to the dormitory. All I want to do is now think. I'm not sure how much time I have, but I want to think. What the heck? Do 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 do. Since talking to Lily yesterday, I wanted to try and move on from the listless I felt ever since coming to Yamako. But even I try to concentrate on the book in front of me, Hanako's empty seat at the back of the classroom looms larger than life. Every time I start to get a focus, my eyes flicker over to the desk again and my mind starts spinning. Once more, my eyes drift over to it, but this time my vision is blocked by a certain other classmate. Oh, hey, Miki. Miki, whatever. Her name's Miki. I don't remember her voice either. Maybe we should just have lunch. I can hear your stomach growling from my desk. I can't do her voice. Or what I perceive as her voice. I let my head drop in disappointment. She seems to take some amusement from my reaction and hops onto my desk. Her grin as she sits on it reminds me of the Cheshire cat. What is that? So, what you working on? Some math. I have a decent handle on it, but I just wanted to revise. Oh really? Let me see that. Fucking object, she grabs my mathematics book with her hand. She scans the page I was on, holding open with the one hand she has, her left arm sitting uselessly on her lap. My time here at Yamako, I've noticed that other students have a wide range of adjustments to their disabilities on a purely practical level. Miki is one of those who seems to have some trouble. Stump of her left arm tends to be either hanging by her side, slipped into her pocket, or otherwise put out of the way. Sometimes she has a difficult time doing common tasks, which are visibly quite frustrated. I feel a little bad for thinking this way, but I'm thankful that Hanako and I don't have disabilities affecting our freedom of movement to that extent. Then again, if Miki's problem was worsened, at least she wouldn't have a real possibility of dying. My attention is being focused as she thumbs through a few pages, skimming the contents. Such casual interest in the subject matter. It's clear by now that she won't be any help. I'm guessing you're not too interested in this stuff. Math! It's boring as heck! She puts the book back in front of me with indifference. Her eyes move to the notebook beside it that I've been working out practice equations on. You're actually able to work that stuff out? Yeah. Well, I've never talked to a computer with legs before. Thanks! I think. At least I'm doing better in this than history. What did she do? Thinking to her asking that librarian for help? I heard she's shooting for uni. What is that? Yuko? Maybe. I don't know what she wants to study though. So what about you? Got anything you're thinking of doing after you graduate? Me? Nah, not really. Just enjoying it while it lasts. She looked a little awkward when I asked about her future and absent-mindedly webs her left forearm. I kinda wanna ask her about it, but I don't think I know her well enough to do so. Conversation peters out and I lean back in my chair, giving up the prospect of studying. Mickey notices my tired expression and looks oddly serious. Thinking about Hanako? It's that obvious? You've been glancing at her seat and you've been pretty quiet, not too hard to connect the dots. Just worried about her. Yeah, I can see why you'd be. She can get weird sometimes. She sounds put off, but I can't blame her. Hanako's a hard person to interact with before she warmed up to me, even with Lily. I wanted to help. I haven't known her for that long either, so some of her habits would still be unknown to me. My face becomes troubled. If I hadn't developed feelings for her, this would be at least a little easier to deal with. I mean, no offense, she isn't a bad person, I know that much. I know, I didn't take it that way, it's just harder to deal with when, well, you know, you have feelings for someone. Yeah, I can imagine that it's hard to forget someone like that. Like, having something like what's happened to her during class, too. I wish she hadn't reminded me of that. She just confirmed I was clearly noticed by others in the room as well. Come on, don't get that down. She's done this before. You just gotta wait it out. She locks herself in her room and acts like an empty hut of a person for a sizable amount of time. Ever since he's entered Yamako, even not before then as well. And I'm not supposed to be concerned about that. Well, I might think that, but there's nothing that I can do. I can't force her to come out, and she does see a therapist. Because it's not like she isn't getting any help for her issues. Maybe it's natural to think that way when you're so powerless to help someone. That's just the way she is, and you just have to deal with it. As I mull things over, I notice a movement out of the corner of my eye. I glance to see who it is and end up doing a double take. Oh my god. Sure enough, it's Hanako. She walks through the door just as she would any normal school day, and begins to move towards her seat in her usual silent and humble manner. She looks at me for a moment before blushing and looks away in embarrassment, which makes me realize that I was staring at her. I feel sorry for that, but not doing it is hard enough after all that's happened. The girl sitting on my desk looks at me grinning. See, your sweetheart's back already. What did I tell you? You be quiet! It might be only meant as a joke, but she hits close enough to make me quite uncomfortable. It'd be like, shut up now! It's just like, hey teacher, it's like, teacher, this guy did. Shut up! As we talk, someone calls Miki's name from the door. She jumps down from her vantage point on my desk before turning to me. Gotta go, Hisao. Remember to eat sometime, will ya? Fine, I will. See you. Also, eat? What? She gives a casual salute before jogging over to the door, where a male student in gym uniform is waiting for her. Probably someone from the track and field club. Is it Emmy? Seizing the opportunity, I get up and make my way to Hanako's desk. Hello. Hi, Hanako. What's up? Nothing. Maybe talking to her this soon after she came back into class was a bad move. Want to go come with me and grab something from the cafeteria? I'm pretty hungry. But I thought you were studying. Studying can wait. Turning up for class after all this time must have taken some courage for Hanako, so the least I can do is stay with her. That's just the way she is, and you just have to deal with it, is the way Miki and probably the class as a whole views Hanako, but I can do more for her, though I want to do more for her. Though being distracted by Miki, I don't think I'm gonna get any work done. Come on, let's go. She hesitates, but eventually gets up and joins me as we begin walking. These may be small steps for her. One small step for man, or a giant leap for mankind. But the fact that she's finally out of a room of her own volition, whatever, lifts a large weight off my shoulders. Come on, do. I like it, but I kinda sometimes hate it when it skips during like those moments. Alright, where do we leave off? Where are we now? We're in Shanghai. My pen busily scrawls onto a slowly filling page of my notebook. My other hand remains on the page of a reference book I borrowed from the library, marking my spot as my eyes flicker to and fro. As I work, I occasionally mark red circles or underlines onto the photocopy sheets of paper that lie on the table in front of me. Wanting to change the scenery from the library and to avoid distraction to class, I decided to make use of the Shanghai for some quiet study time. It ended up being nice and quiet as I expected, and being able to get coffee while I study is a nice bonus. Hanako may have returned to her normal self since she came out of her room, but I've done quite the opposite. Daily routine may have returned to us, but I feel as if I'm a different person. Maybe a nap. It's only been a few days after all since I decided I wanted to try and get out of the rut I found myself in after my accident, but I want to change and I'm now actively working towards my goal. Or at least I would like to think I am. This is impossible. Brute forcing this isn't going to work. What's more, I have another piece of writing I have to do after this. Fear that's going to be no easier. Look up at my surprised source with a tentative voice. Hey, Yuko. Yuko stands at the head of the table with a damp towel in hand. Clearly having taken the opportunity to clean the towels while no other patrons were around, she looks curious, her eyes as much on my work as on me. What's the matter? I was just wondering, what sort of work are you having so much trouble with? Oh, just history. I'm fine with science and math, and I'm trying to get my other subjects up to par. But I love history and I love math. Hisao? No. I love history and I love science. I hate math. Hisao, you're a disgrace. Yuko looks positively delighted at this development. I feel like I just chose the right answer on some big quiz show. Oh, I think I can help you with that. If you don't mind, of course. I briefly considered turning down the offer and ordering not to cause her too much trouble, but she looks too excited about this for me to do it. It would be mean to shoot her down like that, after such a reaction. If you're willing to help, I'd really appreciate it. She claps her hands together and quickly deposits a towel on a counter before returning, taking a seat across from me. Take my notebook off the top of my textbook and hand it over to her to peruse. So you're studying the Edo period? Yeah, I'm not really much good at this though. She takes the textbook and reads a few pages from a random section near the middle for a bit, but the aura of enthusiasm she's been radiating previously is rapidly sapping away. Guessing this isn't the kind of history you were expecting. Fortunately not. My main area is European history, especially in the classical era. Sorry. She looks a bit downcast, but she carefully closes the book and lays it back down on the table. Her face perks up. Would you like another cup of coffee? Oh yeah, sure. I reach forward and get my book back as Yuko gets up, takes my mug, and slowly walks to the counter to make another brew. As usual, she's absolutely silent as she does this. Every ounce of her concentration is focused on not tipping over or dropping the plain white mug. Take the opportunity to lie back and relax for a bit, the hum of the coffee machine filling the otherwise quiet air. Small details like that which make me realize how much I've come to appreciate the little things in life. The peace and quiet of the local town, the discipline and order of Yamako, the green of the trees that were so rare in my home city, the relaxed pace at which the aging residents live their lives. Everything feels so certain, it's comforting. I can feel myself beginning to nod off when the sound of the mug comes to rest on the table grabs my attention. Seems like it arrived not a moment too soon. Yuko takes a previous seat once again as I pick myself up and bring out a hand around the mug to check its temperature. It's just a little too hot to drink right away, so I blow on it a little. It's a shame you don't like history all that much. I sort of guessed you might be more into science. How so? You nearly read out the science fiction section at the library already. It isn't hard to notice. That is me, like, science fiction, huh? Let me grab this book, let me grab like 15 other million books. You do have a good point there. Well, what can I say? You've pegged me just about right. You sound like you really take an interest in history though, especially considering how specific you are about it. Do you study in that area or something? Go on digs overseas? She giggles nervously at the thought. I didn't even notice I was talking right there. I thought Hugo was talking. I like to visit the Mediterranean sometime and see the old architecture and art for myself, but I don't think I could trust myself to handle such delicate things. I'm saving up to formally study it in university, although I also read up on it whenever I have free time outside of work. So Miki was right about her university aspirations, considering how she feels as a waitress. A more theoretical path may suit Yuko better. It's nice to hear that she has some ambitions though, considering how hard she works. Oh, my thumb! I cannot feel it at all. And now I take a careful sip of my coffee. By now it's cooled to the right temperature, so I began to drink while keeping an eye on the book below, trying to read at the same time. A few minutes passed quietly, Yuko looking out the window and watching the world go by, while I had my coffee and study. A movement catches my eyes, and I looked up to see Yuko smiling and waving to someone outside. Following her gaze surprisingly reveals that someone to be Hanako. She is looking at us from the side of the street across to where we are. Her usually all too visibly timidity is largely absent. Probably thanks to there being so few people around here right now. Evidently, she decides to join us. After a little wave, she gives a quick glance up and down the street and crosses towards the side the cafe is on.